Welcome to the NXT Podcast, your home for weekly NXT reviews and insight.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
Find all of your NXT news, recaps, and analysis right here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
All right, everyone. This is Memphis Mark coming to you from Mullet Manor, and we're going to give you a review of the NXT show on 10/10. And, of course, everything is leading up to Deadline. So, bam, they start off, they just jump in the deep end. And Cody Rhodes starts the show off. And, I'd heard, the stories that, that he did not want to go to the Performance Center. That's like his dad's office. It's a shrine to Dusty. So he originally had said no on anything down there. And from what I've read and heard in some of the interviews, you know how you can take that. It seems that he had a change of, heart. And so, yeah, they're, you've got to, they're going to have a star-studded show. So why not have one of your shiniest stars out there? But, he comes out and he kind of lets everyone know that, after the women's breakout tournament, that they're going to do a men's breakout tournament, which I'm all good with that. And that, that they're going to do a Dusty Rhodes tag team tournament, have a winner for that. And, that Cody is the special GM assigned tonight or, signed off on by HBK. So, and we're even going to have a quick HBK sighting tonight too. So just a good freaking show. I mean, if WWE was going to throw it all in and try to, bring the ratings up and everything and the viewerships, I think they did it with this show. But yeah, Cody starts off, we got him announcing everything. And then, of course, you're going to have the champ come out, Dragunov. And Dragunov comes out, and he kind of seems a little, usually he's pretty good with the stick, but he seemed a little, maybe a little starstruck himself a little bit, but it is his birthday, and the crowd let him know that they appreciate him, and so they go on and have a few words, and then you're going to have Dom and Rhea come out. So you got Dominic coming out, challenging for the NXT title. But Cody lets everybody, or reminds everyone, that he didn't say he'd put his title up. So anyway, we got a match coming up, and so I guess Cody decided to throw a little, they must have rode in the car together, so he figured LA Knight didn't have something to do, so you, LA, are the special guest referee. And then they're going to have Cena pull up now. Cena, what's he going to roll up in a Rolls, a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, a Honda, I believe it was. Anyway, okay, so we go from that. They're getting ready for the Asuka. She's the first big star to come out, and they're showing like the viewing room of all the other wrestlers out there trying to watch the matches. That's become a new thing there, I guess. But then you're going to have the match of Roxanne going against Asuka. And apparently Roxanne was not ready for Asuka. But it was a pretty good match. Now, Roxanne has gotten better and better. And I was, I was a little critical of her when she first started. But, so they're going to have this match. And then right when they get ready, Shotzi shows up in her tank. And she's going to be the special guest commentator on this. And she lets us know that she is, this is the second year in a row that she'll be hosting Halloween Havoc, I believe the first night. So, she jumps on the mic and bam, we're off into the match. And the match is good. The match is good. Roxy seems, Roxanne, it is, seems a little, starstruck at times, and then finally gets fired up and comes after. They have a pretty good match, but the match ends how it should. Asuka closing the door and heading on back to the locker room, because to the pay window, as they used to say, because she thumped her upside the head with a big kick. And then you're going to have Kiana James come in and try to pick up the scraps, I guess, and do a little something upside Roxanne's head. But Shotzi runs in there and saves the day. All right. And you've got a little promo with the Gallus boys and Butch and Tyler Bate, the big strong boy. And he's saying that he needs, Butch is doing the talking in this, which I like it. Gallus does okay, and there's, of course, but Butch doing a little motivational speaking there. He needs the old big strong boy. And then they're going to go to the match after that, which is a pub rules fight. And that's you know what it is? It's their version of a bar fight. Okay, so you've got the Gallus guys going against Rich, Butch, and Tyler. And, Gallus is going to jump them first and get going like that. But, I like, let me see, at one point, I think he hits him with a dartboard or something, but he's got the darts. And it looks like he's putting a dart through one of their fingers, putting it through one of the Gallus guys' fingers or hand or whatever. But I liked it. They had bowling balls. They had fire extinguishers. I mean, if you're going to have one of those type of matches, go all out. Just go. But, they did pretty good in this. I cannot deny they did pretty good in this match. Go back and watch it. Go check it out. It is worth it. They're going to go after that to a Cena promo. And Braun comes out. Cena comes out to the ring, and Braun comes out and lets them know that they're not here to see him, Cena. They're here to see Braun Breaker, the original badass. And he keeps saying badass, and badass is a theme of the night for him. But he thumps John upside the head. John gets back up, tries to do his finishing move on him. Braun gets out of there, and they live to go at it another day, or a little bit later, actually. and then Cody's in there, and Tony D and Stacks run into him. And he's kind of letting them know, hey, we need to figure out our next opponent. So in that interview, in that little barrage of talking, they come up with a Bada Bing tournament. So there's going to be a tournament next week called the Bada Bing tournament. Yep. Okay. So they let then Baron's trying to do a serious promo, and he's kind of talking down, of course, about everybody, and next thing you know, LA Knight's music starts. So he's like, interview over. He's out. All of these angles, though, that's what they're doing tonight. They set up angles. There's different angles, different ways they can go. The storyline, this was old school writing tonight. It was old school writing. So you're going to have, let me see. I forgot. I just threw me off. I was so happy. But they're going to go to the Dominic Mysterio match with Dragunov, and with LA Knight being or I think it's or is it? Yeah, anyway. So the birthday boy against Dominic, and with LA Knight being the special guest referee. Good match though. And the fact that LA Knight never took his sunglasses off. He had his Timberland. Man, it's just, LA Knight was LA Knight. And I think everybody knows somebody like an LA Knight, or at least used to. But good match, though. Good match. Dragunov says he's going to what did he tell Rhea? He's going to take the barking dog and make it into a puppy or something like that. Whatever he said. But he threw Dominic around, just from pillar to post, tossing, hip toss, different moves, throwing him every which way he can. It looked like it should. And of course, Dominic is good, so he's going to have his spots, and he did good in his spots. Dominic is freaking great. But then you're going to have the outside interference. So first you got JD. JD comes out there. He ends up getting rocked. Then Rhea is going to hit Dragunov upside the head with the belt. Well, somehow she ends up in the arms of Trick. Whoop that Trick. And of course, jumps down. I loved how everything looked. I loved how everybody acted. I loved this match. It was comical. I laughed. I watched the match. It is what I used to appreciate. So, good one. And, and then afterwards, you're going to have the music come out, and here comes Baron Corbin to confront Dragunov. But from behind, you got Dijak. So Dijak jumped in there. So bam, bam, we got all of these different angles going. And me, happy. So here we go. We go from there. They got Cena and Mello doing a little promo, and Trick shows up. And here's another angle. Mello says he wants to get his belt back, and man, we're going to get your belt back. But you see the look in Trick's eyes, like, why would I want that belt back? Maybe I want the NXT title, belt back. And then he mentions to Cena, how did you know, when did you know it was your time? And Cena was like, come on, man, let's go sit down and talk. Of course, after that, they even do a quick little shot of, my name is Paul Heyman. But Paul's over there, it seems to be having a little conversation with Ava. So they do that, which kind of spiked my interest, and then the next thing you know, a car pulls up, our big Suburban, and not a Honda. And we got Jade Cargill showing up, and there is our HBK sighting, because he comes out and says howdy and come on in. So, we had that. And then you're going to go from that to a Lola Vice with Elektra Lopez going against Danny Palmer. And so you got gymnasts against MMA. But just before that, just before the match, they go to the commercial and they come back. You had Baron Corbin running into to Cody and telling him, hey, man, you owe me. I want a match at Halloween Havoc with Dragunov. And so, they go through it back and forth, and Baron lets him know that, hey, I'm willing to forgive that, when you jump me from behind. And so apparently it didn't work out, and Braun is not forgiving him. But there's going to be a 3-way match. It's going to, end up being Dijak, Braun, and the winner of the match tonight between Mello and Braun Breaker. So anyway, they go into the Lola Vice, Danny Palmer, the part of the breakout tournament, the ladies' breakout tournament. And you got a gymnast. And she's good now. I mean, she can jump and flip, but I have to say, she's catching on. She had some good counter moves, some good stuff, but I think it's a lot easier from somebody from an MMA background that already knows how to do a lot of these moves to not try to hurt you and just flip you than it is for somebody that's just used to flipping in the air and trying to learn to have contact with someone, because they're, it's just two different types of teaching that they've been taught since they were kids too. So, I mean, come on. But I got to say, Miss Palmer, she was better, absolutely. But man, Lola Vice is coming on, guys. She's coming on. She's every time I see her, it's remarkable the difference. I really think they've got something to build with those two ladies, but with Lola Vice. I mean, she put a kick upside Miss Palmer's head. It's just and Lola is a good heel. I mean, it just seems like she has that natural heel mentality. We'll see. I mean, this is all new, but Lola Vice ends up winning this and carrying on or going on in the women's breakout tournament. But like I said, a watchable moment here. Watchable. Then you got a little Chase U promo, and of course you're going to have Thea and JC Jane, because they're building in that angle and kind of liking it too. They go into the history of Halloween Havoc, and then all Havoc breaks out because old Chase has got to make an example out of somebody. So he picks old Dave over there on the corner, and he's the one that he goes off of, and he throws his phone because he's paying attention to his phone. But it seems to have been a mass text or a mass email that went out that the Bada Bing tournament, that Duke and Chase, Andre Chase, are going to be in the Bada Bing tournament. So that was what it was for. So he was downing, Andre was downing social media, and Duke says, hey, sometimes social media is good, so And then, of course, now you have Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman in the locker room, and Paul Heyman's doing his best way to fire him up, to get him all fired up, and he does it. But, man, what is the deal with Paul Heyman's hair? Is this another angle, something that I'm not seeing? Is there something that I missed? I know he's got the money, so he can afford the hairdresser to get his hair, colored. It's got to be something on down the road, or either I've missed something, or seriously, it's possible, or whatever, but, Paul Heyman look a little old, but, they're doing the fired up, for Braun, absolutely. But then kind of, with more surprises, this was the show that kind of broke the mold for him, I guess next week with being Raw's starting off their new, season or whatever. I mean, I just, star-studded tonight, but here is what surprised me. We knew it was going to happen, that Brian Pillman Jr. had signed. And he is perfect for NXT because he's got everything but ring time, big time ring time. But they do a promo with him, and I don't know if a lot of you guys out there remember Brian Pillman or whatever, but go back and look. He was a part of the Hollywood Blondes with Stone Cold. Of course, a lot more, whatever, but that's really when he set himself apart. But Brian took on a loose cannon role, and it fit him well, from what I understand. I did not know him or whatever, but it fit him well. And all right, now how can I say this? I did not. I was not affiliated or worked or nothing like that with any of Memphis Wrestling, but I did go down to the Mid-South Coliseum a lot because I sold drinks at our minor league affiliate in the same parking lot, in the same complex. And we had a Montreal Expos. That shows how old. But they were the AA team. They're the Memphis Chicks, and we would get through about the seventh inning, and I would go over, and I knew some of the guys. I would let some of the guys that sold programs and drinks in at the Coliseum. I'd sneak them in. They'd sneak me in. So I got to see a lot of these guys, because I was growing up with them. I mean, shoot, I remember. Now, this name is not going to seem as big, but you got to consider the guys held a belt in every major promotion. But Jeff Jarrett, when he first started, he was a photographer. Then they pulled him into the ring. He was a referee, and then Bill Dundee pulls him in, beats him up, starts him off in his career. And I think me and Jeff are only a few years apart. He used to come into my nightclub occasionally, and we talked. But I think he's like a couple years younger than me, or 2 or 3 years younger than me. And then you had other people that were coming up back then. You had Rock's son, and not Dwayne Johnson, but Rocky Johnson, which was Dewey, and he was probably about 8 or 9 years younger than us. But by the time Jeff had gotten going, then we had Rocky Maivia. So it was just that's how they trained these people in and got them in. So Brian Pillman, I didn't mean to go way off the subject, but Brian Pillman, the history of him, everything about him, go back and check out his look. He looks so much like his dad, and he talks so much like his dad. And so there is nothing but an upside for this gentleman. Abso-freaking-lutely nothing. But please, go check out Brian Pillman, I guess senior, but I guess not. Anyway, that they have a little Oscar, the ladies coming around, saying hi, and to the veteran. Yet Kiana James out there thanking her, and then you got Davenport coming up, and Valen and Tiff show up, and then just all these. They're showing accolation and everything for that, but it is all leading up to the main event, and that is Mello and Braun, and you've got Mello with they say the greatest of all time. They say. It ain't coming from this camp right here, this particular camp. But, I'm not hating. I'm just saying not the greatest. But anyway, you got Mello and Cena. And then you got Paul Heyman in Braun's corner. Old-looking Paul Heyman. Like, Moses-looking Paul Heyman. But the match is good. The angles are good. Although John Cena, being on the outside, if you were trying to just take pictures of John Cena, and if you watch how he is when he's a second, when he's watching your back, he ain't nothing but, it's just more than a selfie setup, because it's like he takes 2 steps and he stops and holds it so you can get a good picture. And then he comes on, but every time it's like he's stop, hammer time. I mean, it's just I don't know. Anyway, so the match is good. But the size difference is really, really relevant. I mean, it's just, Braun is main roster body. That's just the way it is. He is, he could fit in any era of WWE, any era. But man, and he has such flashes. Like every once in a while, Mello does a couple moves, and then you just see Braun just go into that just butt whooping mode, and you could just tell. But the match is what the match is. Although Mello goes to do a or jump off the top rope, Braun catches him, slams him. That's like the first turn or the momentum turn of the match. But Braun lays a whooping down on him for a while. So, and then of course you're gonna have some outside interference. That's just the way that rolls. So you're gonna have let me see, Sikoa come out there and jump in and try to, and Cena's going to run him out and do their whole little thing. So, as I said, the match is good, everything good, because this is a shot at the triple threat match. Whoever wins this is going to have a chance at the NXT title. And surprising to me, Mello ends up winning this match. After all the distractions and everything, Mello does his, he can't miss him. But yeah, he wins this match for the chance to go to the triple threat. I didn't like that finish. Just didn't like that finish. But I did like the ending. So what do I mean by that? Well, of course, Braun gets back up and spears Mello out of nowhere, and then he demands the stick. He wants to get on the mic. So Mello is one, but he's all curled up in the corner like he ate some bad fish. And, cause like I said, the match was good. Didn't like the end, or didn't like the finish, but liked the end. So, so Braun gets out there and he starts running his mouth and hollering and everything. And everything he's saying is true. And he's looking good on the mic, sounding good. Everything is good. But he keeps referencing, like I said earlier, the theme of the night was badass. And I gotta say that I did not see this coming. But you keep saying a word, what was it, scissor hands or something? You keep saying the same thing over and over, and the person appears. Well, he kept saying badass, and then bam, the American badass version of Undertaker comes out. And it took him a second to get the cornering with the bike, but he rides his bike out like old school, parks it in front of Booker T, gets off, and he's still a big old guy, man, still big. You can tell he's in shape, but you can also tell he's been through some wars, because I've got a broke back, and I can tell you he walks and clucks a little bit like me on that end. I'm sure in a lot better shape, but the man has been through some wars, and I'm sure he's got the battle scars to prove it. But he gets in there, and he's kind of soft spoken in a manner, in his mannerisms, which is good. I'm sure they're going to edit it, and they're going to do all this stuff, and it's going to be fine. And he did fine. It was good. Don't get me wrong. That's what I'm saying. Go back and watch this. It's definitely worth it. But it's kind of like when you grow up with something and you start seeing it get old. It makes you think. And I can remember me being a young guy going to the gym all the time, and the first time I met the Rock and Roll Express, they were at a McDonald's. And it's like we were at a cool spot in Memphis where everybody parked their cool cars. And they said the Rock and Roll Express is over at McDonald's. It's right by the interstate, and I could see it. So, of course, I got to go into McDonald's. And I wanted to go in and realistically say hello, and because I'm a fan. I was a fan. It was. That's just it. I'm not going to sit here and try to act it. But I'm also 6'2" and about 280. And when I went in and met the guys, they were real nice. Everybody was cool. I met them several times, later on in life, running nightclubs and restaurants. But the first time I met them, it's kind of like with Stan Lane and Steve Carmen, the Fabulous Ones. I was like, hey, guys, and looking down at them. So sometimes you don't want to meet your heroes. But Undertaker, I got to meet him a couple times at whatever. He is, a living legend, a Hall of Famer, and he threw down out there. So, man, the ending was so much worth the whole show. Everything. The Brian Pillman Jr. coming back. Oscar looked good out there. Cody coming in. Cena. Okay, it's just everything, though. Everything else was really, really good. So this is a definite go back and watch show, for show. And yeah, all right. So I guess we can go ahead and I was worried because originally my notes had me at about a 2-hour show. So I went back through and narrowed them down and nerd them. But we got them down, we got it done, and I think we got it taken care of tonight. So guys, go back, watch the show, enjoy it. And man, I really appreciate the fact that if you're hearing my voice, then you've taken the time out of your day to listen to this, podcast. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I will say, guys, but before I screw it up, mess something up, I'm just going to back out like a blackjack player, Dealer's leaving, tap the hands, walk away, and that's the way we're going to end it. tonight, guys. But look, everybody have a great week. I hope everyone has a great weekend. And look, we'll just end it with this is Memphis Mark. And if you can, help some of them shelters out. Do what you can. Volunteer if you can. Whatever you can. And spay and neuter, folks. And so this is Memphis Mark. And yeah. I guess it's time for an adult beverage, guys. Y'all have a great night. And we're getting ready for Halloween Havoc. So, boo.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.